Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
The statement to this Honorable House on the impact of the recent heavy rains and flooding that has affected the country between 15th and 18th of March 2026. I present this statement on behalf of the Department of Disaster Management Affairs, DOTMA, under the Office of the President and the Cabinet. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the period under review, the country experienced intense and prolonged rainfall, resulting in flooding across several districts and cities. Preliminary reports have been received from 16 councils, namely Blantyre City, Blantyre District, Chikwawa, Chilazulu, Dedza, Karonga, Lilongwe District, Machinga, Mangochi, Mchinji, Mulanje, Mwanza, Neno, Palombe, Zomba City, and Zomba District. The overall impact of the disaster is significant. A total of 9,598 households have been affected, with 128 households displaced. Regrettably, 13 deaths have been recorded and 35 people have sustained injuries. To date, 12 evacuation camps have been established across 6 councils to provide temporary shelter to displaced households. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to present the situation as reported across the affected districts and cities. Blantyre District, 573 households have been affected in traditional authorities Chigalu, Kapeni, and Lundu. In Blantyre City, 2 fatalities have been recorded involving an unidentified man and a child due to collapsing walls. In Chikwawa, 1,565 households have been affected, with 3 deaths and 2 injuries reported. 3 camps have been established in traditional authority Masea. In Chilazulu, 103 households have been affected across 4 traditional authorities. In Dedza, 59 households have been affected, including 36 displaced. 1 death and 2 injuries have also been recorded. In Karonga, 34 households have been displaced, with 2 camps established. In the Lilongwe District, 17 households have been displaced and are currently sheltered at a community-based care center following mudslides in traditional authority Mazengera. In Machinga, 1,471 households have been affected, with 2 deaths and 18 injuries recorded. In Mangochi, 1,189 households have been affected, with 2 fatalities involving children attempting to cross a flooded river. In Mchinji, the Kaigwazanga area is heavily flooded, with damage reported to houses and household property. Assessment and rescue teams have been deployed. While in Mulanje, 329 households have been affected, with 73 displaced and sheltered at Katuma community-based organization. In Mwanza, 1 injury has been reported and the road to Tambani is currently inaccessible. In Neno, 3 deaths have been recorded. In Palombe, 1,112 individuals have been displaced and are currently sheltered at Malambwe Evacuation Center in Traditional Authority Nkolambe. In Zomba City, 310 households have been affected, with 30 displaced and sheltered at the Kangala and the Chambo evacuation centers. 12 injuries have been recorded. And finally, in Zomba District, 3,948 households have been affected across 15 traditional authorities, with 5 camps established. Mr. Speaker, sir, government through DOTMA and in collaboration with councils and humanitarian partners has already commenced response efforts. These include the distribution of relief assistance to affected households, ongoing detailed assessments to establish the full extent of the damage, and the provision of emergency support in evacuation centers. Government is also working with search and rescue teams in areas that remain difficult to access to ensure that affected individuals receive timely assistance. Mr. Speaker, sir, while this statement is primarily on the humanitarian impact, it is important to note that the floods have also affected critical infrastructure, including roads and access routes in some areas. For instance, the Chikwawa-Nsanje Road is currently impassable at Bereu Trading Center, while the road to Tambani in Mwanza is inaccessible. These disruptions are affecting the delivery of aid and access to essential services, and my ministry is working with relevant authorities to restore connectivity as a matter of urgency. Mr. Speaker, sir, government appeals to development partners, non-governmental organizations, the private sector, and all wishes to support ongoing response efforts through the provision of relief items, financial resources, and technical assistance. Such support is critical in addressing immediate humanitarian needs and facilitating early recovery and rehabilitation of affected communities. Mr. Speaker, sir, government will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide updates to this House and the nation as more information becomes available. Let me conclude by expressing our deepest condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones and wishing a speedy recovery to those who have been injured. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the whole House.
Thank you, Leader of the House. Honourable members, I will allow some debate on that if there's any member that would want to say something. I see Mwanza Central, Salima Central West, and
Zimba Southwest.
Zimba Southwest. I'll take three at a time. I've seen you, Rumpi, and I've seen you as well, my brother there. You'll come in the second round. In that order, please.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Allow me to thank the Honourable Minister for the report. I listened to the report carefully, and indeed the Tambani cannot be accessed. I just wanted to also inform the Minister that Tulonkondo and Njoromola cannot be reached because the road to Tulonkondo has completely been cut off. As I speak now, Right Honourable Speaker, Kunene Kude Road is very, very bad, extremely bad. Even motorcycles are failing to ferry sick people to Mwanza District Hospital. So I thought this needed the attention of the Honourable Minister so that we can be assisted. I was talking to the council officials a few minutes ago. They are doing assessments again, but their problem would be resources. Therefore, as the government is putting up a program to intervene, I wanted to also request that Mwanza District be included so that people of Utronkondo, Ngadziwe, Kunene Kude can also be assisted. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Mwanza Central. We now go to Salima.
Salima Central West, Honourable Speaker.
Salima Central West.
Yes, just to appreciate the response from government towards what is happening. Yes, the Leader of the House, representing the whole government machinery, Right Speaker, has pronounced some districts. I would think the assessment is still going on because Salima is one of those districts that have been heavily affected. As I'm talking now, if you go to my constituency, people are displaced. People people are seeking shelters and are in primary schools scattered across the district. It's Salima Central West Constituency. There's an ongoing construction of the M5 road, and this is being undertaken by CR20. It's got somewhere where there is a water collection. I'm trying to avoid the word dam. Provisionally, we can use that so that people can understand what I mean, closer to Siasia. That water has heavily accumulated, that the water has no breather and has caused a lot of havoc, houses are falling down. I wanted to ask through you, Speaker, if there can be an immediate intervention, probably liaise with CR20, to open up a breather for this water, at least to find its way out, so that we rescue those houses that are remaining. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, it's about the rescue efforts, because the situation in which we are, it's not only about providing food relief. Look at what has happened in Nchinchi and elsewhere. We must have had efforts, provisions now that at least we can provide rescue to those people. You will see that now we may not have that machinery. I think Kota Central talked about what can provisionally or also be bought in a long term. What sort of machinery can we use to rescue them other than just thinking about food provision? I therefore have a suggestion. Probably government can consider this, that this is a wake-up call. Can we now start thinking about decentralizing some of the disaster preparedness and response resources to councils? Because now they would need resources. But if you see, even though there is an assessment that has been done, Right Honorable Speaker, those to wait for a response from the central level to provide those responses. If we had money at the district council and that the district had that mandate liaising with all these other structures that have been affected, by now most of the people would have been reached out to. Otherwise, it's at the mercy of those people, like members of parliament, or those that have got the capability to reach out to those people to provide immediate relief items and also facilities for those that have been affected. And thirdly, let's think about CDF. If we had clear guidelines by now, probably would have been tapping from there. Can we be clearly be advised in terms of like this? Can we put up a provision where we can tap resources that can help people? Because what people need now is a help now than those that we can look at in future. These are a few interventions that I thought, submitting Right Honorable Speaker, the rescue response preparedness, in addition to looking at shelter and food relief items. They need tents now, yes, but now they are provisionally being kept. Other services have been disrupted now. Those that are in schools, that means the learners are not going to those schools, because those schools have been used as temporary homes for those that have been affected. Can we think outside the box and start thinking now what can be done? And if government can make those provisions now, it will help us quite a lot than later, because the havoc is still continuing. And please, I emphasize, Siasia, we've got this water that has hugely accumulated, it has overflowed, and people are affected. Houses are displaced because of the ongoing construction which has trapped water there. And if only CR20 can, with their machinery, can open up that water, provide that relief, breather, and then the water goes. I think that would be part of the immediate intervention that would be asking for. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Salima Central West. I'm sure the Minister is taking notes. Zimba Southwest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. Through you, let me thank the Honorable Minister for the statement regarding disasters. Zimba Southwest would want to register that we are also affected in one way or the other. And listening to my colleagues is not much, but the same. One, would want government to build capacity at the council level so that immediate interventions should be done as soon as these occur. Why do I say this? As of now, from Mzimba South to Mzimba Southwest, now is practically impassable. And then the biggest hospital that Mzimba Southwest has is the Mbangweni Hospital. That means people cannot come to that particular area. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would also want to implore on government that maybe with the course of time, the engineering functions of our activities like bridges, I think we should come up with these standards, because some of these impassable roads are not necessarily because of heavy rains, but it's because the poor workmanship done in our roads. Mr. Speaker, sir, you recall that at one time the north was completely cut off to the south. By this, not necessarily the north, I would say the northern corridor, and this was at Impassas. I'm sure the Minister of Transport and the Minister of Local Government were passing there. You could see that even the makeshift bridges that were being done there, being washed away, they finish in the morning, in the evening it's not there. Why do I say this? Our engineers, they need to actually build bridges that would last time. Secondly, or thirdly, I want to concur with my colleague from Salima that maybe through you, sir, when will be considered for the 5 billion constituency development, I'm sorry, I normally said constituency development Chamburanyina fund, because it's quite synonymous with this. I think there must be a component spared specifically to look into disasters. Mr. Speaker, sir, it's my considered view that members of parliament sitting here, at least maybe 90% of them in their constituencies, they have got these challenges. So I want to propose that. Lastly, I also want to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, in terms of resettling the disaster prone or affected people, I am aware that maybe the pace is limited. They'll give a tent and some food. But these people would have lost almost everything, and they will need to start their life afresh. I want to suggest to government that they should relook at their settlement programs, that whenever they are resettling these people, they must be given something that they can start their own life, because otherwise they just become perpetual beggars. Mr. Speaker, sir, I submit.
Thank you very much. Nzimba Southwest. I'll start with Rumpi West, then I'll go to Dedza Mayani and Mulanje Central. In that order, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for recognizing Rumpi West, as you promised when I raised my concern on the issue that I provided on Understanding Order 14. I would like to join my colleagues and the Minister who has presented a clear situation of how other districts have been affected. I would like to join the Minister to condole those families who have lost their beloved ones. May their soul rest in peace. And as the Minister has assured them that the government is considering more interventions, I wanted to register that though Rumpi district has not been mentioned, maybe because that was a primary information that they had, but they have to consider now Rumpi district as a whole has been affected. I may not go into specific areas of the districts, but as a sample, I will dwell much on Rumpi West, where I have got physical information on the status. We have Sokoro area, which is within a low-lying area, Bata School, Nkhozo, Ruviri. Ruviri is where the current water gravity scheme that provides water to Nkamanga, Borero, Kapiolambavi, because of the heavy rains that we have been having, all the rain has been washed away. We believe they are in the Rukuru, South Rukuru now, of which, in the absence of CDF, we know maybe the CDF is there at the council, but me as a member of parliament, I've got limited access. The challenge is very heavy on me because people, they still believe an MP is in charge of CDF. I have so many reports and complaints. Though I tell them to go to the ADC and the councillor, they said we didn't vote for them. We voted for you. We are in a bad situation where MPs are being blamed on something that is now off their hand. If I go to Mswaya, Mr. Speaker, sir, large farms, some of them, they were mentioned on the mega farm defaulters. All their farms have been washed away. If you go to Msulira, Lusani, Kampenda, Kapyolambavi, it is in waters. Kanyenjere, it is in waters. Kampenda is in water. Ruhono, Kasere, I can say the whole of my constituency, the lower part which is under a low-lying area, they are all in waters of above 2 meters. If I may talk of people who have been affected, this time now, we don't have the clear picture of how many have been affected because the rains are still pouring. The council is unable to establish who is affected. But we wanted to submit that as government is looking at interventions, as much as a normal situation, the Dodima goes with food, blankets, and other things, we wanted the minister, if they can have an emergency contingency help to Lumpi West, especially with the excavators or the JCBs, so that they open up the drainages, so that even the roads, as I'm talking from Chikwawa, you cannot go to Tunduike. If you go to Bowe, even Vuaza, you can't reach there. Ambulances are affected. We have an alternative route going towards Mperembe. There too, they can't go proceeding to Mzuzu. All referrals have been affected from here. My appeal to government is, we know the situation is overwhelming. These eventualities might have not been planned, but as going forward, we appeal to government to consider capacitating the Minister of Works, because in a situation like this, going for contractors, it might be expensive. Even the PVHO, if they had the machinery, this was the right time that the government could have gone there, gotten the machinery to help open up roads which are now impassable, even the bridges. But if you go in the Ministry of Works, Ministry of Transport, it is not this government's challenge. It's a situation that has been there for some time. It may take time, but please consider it. Honorable Minister of Transport, at one time I took you to Pirato Bridge, which you promised me that you are going to do. Unfortunately, your term got expired along the way. That bridge down there is nowhere there. It's no longer there. It has been washed away. School runners are not going to school. If you can go to a school that was given to the government by Prophet Shepherd Bushiri, Vuaza Zorokere, it is in water. But we believe government is going to do a fair assessment of the situation in Lumpi West. But what we are requesting currently, may the minister either engage Prem construction company, who is on site. He suspended works because of the rainy seasons on the Lumpi-Nyika road. He has machinery. We have another company at Borero, which is doing the Chipofia irrigation scheme. They have the machines. We have the Peace Parks Foundation at Nyika. They have the machines. But me as an MP with the court ruling that we are no longer involved in development, but our role is oversight, representation, and registration. Even calling them, they just drop up my call. But we believe if you can utilize their existence there, we can have a sigh of relief so that, especially start with the roads. Because if we cannot evacuate large people on foot, we need to move them using trucks or buses. But the roads too, they are impassable. We have the gravel material nearby, but we don't have the equipment. Especially this animal CDF has destroyed our political career because we are finished. If you, Honorable Minister, sir, you may not come in. And the Minister of Local Government, may you please talk to the councils to come into our shoes as members of parliament, as they are now the members of parliament in our various constituencies now, to help us in this situation. Otherwise, Even if you go, I was in Parombe, I was in Mulanje, I was in Zomba. I saw the situation is the same. So, kulira nkumoza. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I was waiting for a prayer, but
and the Minister of Local Government should find the resources immediately and build this country. In Jesus' name, get your blessings.
Deza Mayani, your turn.
Mr. Speaker, sir. That prayer there, Mr. Speaker, from Urumpi. Mr. Speaker, sir, I just wanted to say thank you for your office for recognizing the people of Dedzamayani to add a voice according to this ministerial statement by the able minister responsible for disaster management. Mr. Speaker, sir, at first I was somehow puzzled by the name itself, Dodima. So I was trying to look at what it means. And it's a Department of Disaster Management. So I was looking at some technical issues. But then I was rescued when I looked at what created Dodima. It is an act of 1991 that he created, and it's called the Act on Disaster Preparedness and Relief. So the word I was looking for was actually the preparedness. As a nation, it looks like we have somehow forgotten that these disasters will always be there. And according to the studies, they will be increasing in frequency and intensity. And I underline those two words. Where we are going now, the disasters will become more frequent and they will be getting more severe if the current climate situations doesn't change. So where I found a problem, where I was looking for the word preparedness, Mr. Speaker, sir, is when you look into our budget, most of the times the relief where Dodima gets its funds, it is in what is called the unforeseen budget or unforeseen circumstances. Over the past years, the funds which go there, most of the times you realize at one time it was 2 billion, the other time it was extended to about 4 billion, and then it was increased. I think the highest they got was 10 billion. So we are investing 10 billion in things which we know that the disasters will be getting worse and worse. And according to this situation, let me bring to your attention, Mr. Speaker, sir, that I'm glad that Dedza has been included on that list in his statement. My constituency currently, not just these rains, but from a month ago, Dedza experienced the heavy rains once again, and we lost 4 transformers in just 1 week. As I'm speaking, 6 transformers in Dedza have been damaged by the excessive rains, which were accompanied by lightning. And when we started following up on with ESCOM, we are learning that ESCOM has no transformers, as we are speaking. ESCOM has no spare transformers. And we have what we call Chipanya Health Center, which is a rural hospital. It's a mission, and it is at the Roman Catholic Chipanya Parish. There, it's now a month. They have no electricity because ESCOM has no transformers. And we have also a technical college at Mponde, no electricity. The students are failing to learn to use all the other electrical gadgets because ESCOM has no transformers. And I was also trying to check in other records. It looks like in Lilongwe alone, as a district, there are about 36 damaged transformers. So if you combine Dedza and Lilongwe, 42 transformers are required. But as I'm speaking, ESCOM has no transformers. So what I'm trying to say is about disaster preparedness. We know poles will be damaged. We know ESCOM poles will be damaged whenever there are excessive rains. But from the other records, I'm also learning that even ESCOM doesn't have poles. I stand to be corrected. But when I'm looking at the Act itself, where it was talking about disaster preparedness and management, it is, I'm dwelling much on the preparedness aspect of it. That as a nation, it looks like we are not preparing ourselves for what we are going to face. If I may ask, even in his ministry, what money has been reserved to repair the roads as soon as possible for rehabilitation, then you realize that we don't have that funds for that preparedness. A disaster is a multi-sectoral issue, and I do understand the efforts that the government is doing, but on the other hand, myself as also a chairperson responsible for social issues, when these disasters happen, the most vulnerable and marginalized groups of people are the ones who suffer the most. For example, if a disaster strikes, then it's the children who are going to be chased from their primary schools, because now the adults will want to have shelter in those spaces. Unfortunately, the school calendar will not wait for those who were under a disaster. So it means those children will suffer. And if you look at the many causes of disaster, you realize that it is associated with climate change. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wanted to emphasize on the need of collecting more taxes on issues that damage the environment. Because I've seen some countries are paying what are called carbon credits. This is a good development, but locally we also must look at other issues where we can correct such kind of levy so that we can have enough funds for Dodima. Where, if you may follow me clearly, the point I want to emphasize is we are not investing so much in disaster preparedness, and we are trying just to react whenever the disasters strike. Let me concur with my colleagues who have mentioned the easiest window, which could be CDF. You know, the act, when you talk about a disaster, you can only declare a disaster. They say when, if I'm not mistaken, it's when about 10 houses or 10 households have been affected. So in our constituencies as members of parliament, even when 4 people have been affected or 4 households, the people turn to the member of parliament because for them, they have a problem. But the government will say, we cannot come there to react as Dodima because you don't reach the number which helps us to declare that it is, you have a disaster. So my problem is there. So if the CDF could have that window to make sure that it addresses some of these issues. And in that way, it might help us as a nation to work better towards disaster management. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing the people of the Zamayani to participate in this, and especially my appeal is on the ESCOM to be prepared for the disasters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Zamayani. Mulanje Central.
Mr. Speaker, sir, through you, thank the Honorable Minister of Transport and Public Works for a brief but an elaborate presentation in as far as the issue being discussed, which is on the floor, is concerned. I just wanted to add my voice to whatever some other honorable colleagues have presented. In the first place, while we are appreciating government efforts through Dodima to come to the rescue of the affected ones, I am of the opinion that we should also look much at preserving or promoting the rights of the women, children, and the disabled in these evacuation centers. You have rightly talked about evacuation centers. Most of the people will be in classrooms, churches. But if you look closely, Mr. Speaker, sir, to what happens at these evacuation centers, these school blocks, these churches, there is a lot of violation of the rights of the women, children, and the disabled. Hence the need, maybe that if Dodima is working, it should also work closely with the Ministry of Gender so that they go together. Because there are several issues, like they have to do with sanitation and the likes. Women tend to be more affected, children, and of course the disabled. Mr. Speaker, sir, the second point is that on the need for government to make sure that corruption is stemmed in as far as the exercise of the distribution of free items like foodstuffs, blankets, pails. What I'm trying to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that we have had cases whereby these government officials, when they go to register those affected, they would start demanding something from the very same person who is affected, that please, if you want to be registered, give me so much. If you want me to register you, give me so much. Now, this is a sorry state, and this should be dealt with so that that other person who is suffering should also not be subjected to more torture. So there is a need that corruption need to be checked when providing food items and related relief materials. Evacuation centers, yes, you have mentioned in the statement about 2 or 3 evacuation centers that have already been opened. That's a step in the right direction. But in the situation in which we are, I'd like to ask government to open more centers, more evacuation centers. They have been there before, like in Salima, Nchinji, Mulanji, they've been there before. What we need to do is, what I'm trying to say is when we have no disaster, these centers tend to be forgotten. They are closed at will, no checking of their quality. Roofs might have even collapsed at these evacuation centers. Now, let government, through Dodima or any other related government agency, look into that we open these evacuation centers, because if we emphasize much on evacuation centers, we will not have a situation whereby schools are closed during this critical period, because it's a general feeling that whenever we have a disaster, what happens is the affected ones flock to schools, and schools get closed in the process. So evacuation centers is something very important. And on rescue efforts, as put by honorable colleague from Salima, it's very important that through the Department of Climate Change, that foresees what will happen, that would foresee where floods are likely to take place. I think in a way of preparedness, as again said by honorable member for the Mayan, we need some equipment, apparatus, speedboats to be sent in advance to such an area in preparedness for anything, so that when a disaster strikes, the boats should be in the vicinity. When a disaster strikes, rescue helicopters should already be there in the vicinity, so that these people are rescued. I saw in the social media, Mr. Speaker, sir, a situation in Nchinji this morning. If we had had the rescue boats, rescue helicopters, those people calling for assistance, those people calling for help, they could have been assisted right away. So on behalf of Mulanje Central Constituency, and indeed on my own behalf, that's my humble contribution. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mulanje Central. I'll now take one more round, starting with
Chihuahua Central.
Chirazu, yeah, Chirazu
Masanjara.
Chirazulu Masanjara. I just have to take Chukwa Central because I know that's another area where Karonga Central. Karonga town, sorry. Nkota Mpula. And I wanted one honorable member from there. Yes, honorable, your constituency?
Zomba Matia.
Zomba Matia.
Yeah.
Yes, in that order, please.
Zomba Antonia as well.
So starting with Chirazuru Masanja.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving a chance to the people from Chirazuru Masanjara to express what's happening right there. And I would also love to thank our minister. He's representing the government very well, and thank you very much for the quick response. Mine, it's a big burden that we have right now. During the cyclone, our road going to Boma got destroyed. So with this disaster, it is completely done. We cannot use it anymore. So as I'm speaking right now, I've already sent my guys to get huge stones as a temporary measure so that we should keep it for our people to use it. And our hospitals, ambulances are not going through because our road is very bad. So I really wanted to ask for a quick response towards Chirazuru Masanjara, because we have faced a lot of challenges, and this is one of the things that is really on our neck. And tomorrow, I might not even be here. I'm thinking of ways that I should go and represent my people well by maybe buying cement and doing a concrete thing for the meantime. So this is what I wanted to ask, asking the minister that we really need help. Our road is down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chirazuru Masanjara. I know the minister is taking notes. Honourable members, let's try and be brief because I see there's a lot of interest in this. We will not be here for long. Let's have Chikwawa Central. Let's try and be brief as possible.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for recognizing the people of Chikwawa Central. Mine is a small one. We just want to ask the minister. Mine is a straight one. I just want to ask the minister if it can be possible to open that M1 road from Kasintula going to Bereu, whereby most of the waters are just stagnant on that side. If the road will be open, because as of now, the road is representing as a dike. So if the road will be open, those people who are really affected as of now will not be affected. As well as if you take the Chapananga road, the other side, which is Tegasis, the water also comes from that area. That road too, it represents as a dike. Therefore, those people whose side of the other side, they are now affected. Therefore, if the minister can allow us, or if the minister can give us more resources to open that road with the ring covers, so that people can not be affected, as well as if the minister can allow to construct a dike at the rail, so that the river Mwanza cannot be affected the people who is surrounding the rail and other areas. Thank you.
Indeed, yours is a small one. I mean your question. Thank you, Chikwawa Central. Let's now go to Karonga Town.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving a chance to the people of Karonga Town constituency. As I'm talking now, Honorable Speaker, the people of Mwanjawara area, Mweniumba, Mwanyongo, Ngayankafu, they are in water. I must indicate that Karonga Town is a disaster zone. That must be recorded. And we had a dike which was constructed by the MDF. That dike is actually giving away. It's no longer working right now. So Karonga Town is just like Chikwawa and Sanje. Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to make one suggestion. If it can be taken up by the government side, that would be maybe helpful. The suggestion I wanted to make is that perhaps it's time that we take the executive decisions to create a standalone Ministry of Disaster Management Affairs. As at now, let me concur with my colleague from Dezamayani. The Dodima, as we are talking now, they are actually getting money under OPC. And they may not have the powers to respond to disaster as quickly as possible. We wanted here that if we are struck by disasters, we should be facing the minister in here, and the minister should be coming here and give us the ministerial statements regarding the position of the disasters. There is a lot of merit in what I'm actually suggesting. If we create the standalone Ministry of Disaster Management Affairs, perhaps we can strengthen the national disaster preparedness and response. I think my honorable colleague from Desamayani dwelt a lot on that one. As at now, perhaps we are not well prepared. As I'm talking now in Karonga, when we talk to our colleagues in the district who are actually managing the disasters, they don't have anything to actually respond quickly to the disasters that actually have affected us. The other merit that I'm actually looking forward is that perhaps we may have improved coordination during floods or droughts or cyclones. Honorable Speaker, you may look at the trend as at now. Last year we were hit by droughts, prolonged dry spells. Now we are hit by heavy rainfall. The other year we were hit by Cyclone Anna. The other year we were hit by Cyclone Gombe and Cyclone Flede. So it means that with the climate change scenarios, these things have come to stay. So as a country, we need to be prepared as well. So that's why I'm proposing a standalone Ministry of Disaster Management Affairs. It could help the country very much. And more over and above that, and we can also attract the international donors who could actually channel a lot of resources into that ministry to respond to the disasters. Honorable Speaker, let me stop here. Since you said we should be brief, mine has been very brief, more than what Chikwa Central indicated. Thank you.
Thank you. Karonga Town, you made a reference to Deza Kasina, but unfortunately he's fast asleep. He needs someone to wake him up. Thank you, Karonga Town. Nkota Mpula.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for allowing the people of Nkota Mpula constituency to say a word. First of all, I would like to thank the Minister for coming out in time of need like this. I think this is what is expected of us as an honorable house, that when people are in trouble, we have to rise and say something and do something. In our constituency, this is not our first time. In December, we were also hit by the same. Unfortunately, the relief items have just been distributed 2 weeks ago. So, mavudo obwela madzidzi response is ikaso ya dzidzi. If it wasn't for Apostle Gawinga of Salvation for All Ministries and Ale Megezege, the Burundian national, coming to our rescue, we could have been saying goodbye by now. The only response has come after close to 3 months, which is not on. This is not a blame to anyone, because we are one house, we're one people representing the same Malawians, but rather a wake-up call to us as the representatives of the people. And I would like to put an echo on what my fellow MP from Salima. Decentralization will be of utmost importance, because this has happened, the late response has happened because we were waiting from the central government. So I feel the council is closer to us, but the central government is a little bit far from us. So if we are to do the decentralization, I think little by little we'll be taking a good and a powerful direction. I submit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nkota Mpula. Zomba Matia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for recognizing the people of Zomba Matia, formerly Zomba GC, to comment on this very important issue. Let me thank the Minister for responding to this. Zomba Matia is one of the very big affected area. As I'm talking now, 2
people have been laid to rest today after they were missing for 2 days. The search was done for 2 days. They were only discovered today, and the burial has taken place. The sad thing is that a woman who had a baby at the back is still missing up to now. The search is still going on, which is a very sad thing to me and my people in Zomba Matia. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me thank the government for the initiative that they have taken to provide food relief to the people. I request that this should be hurried because everything in my area has gone with water. You know, part of my area, Katebwe and there, we are protected by the water dike that was constructed to prevent us from the floods that happens from the Palombe River. As I'm talking now, part of this dike has been damaged, posing the risk to the people that if anything urgent is not going to be done, we risk to have more people drawn. So I would ask the minister to also assist us in that. There is a great area that is more prone, which we call Sukamatumbo. This river, it connects people from Chinkwangwa going to Katebwe, that side, and children are very much affected. I think in my maiden speech, I also spoke about this river. I trust that even the CDF, when we try it, will not be able to cater because it's a very long distance. I think means of transport will look otherwise into this. And also request the Minister of Agriculture that maybe after people have gone back to their places, there is a need to look into, because at Katebwe and Makawa, we do irrigation. I think if something is done, we can stand on our own rather than just depending on asking the government to help us every time. So, but my immediate request is how the people that are gathered in schools, they don't have food right now. If something is going to be done, we will appreciate. But let me take this opportunity to thank the Minister for the initiative that they have taken. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much, Zomba Matia. I see leader rising.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, and to thank honourable members that have added their weight on the statement that I presented in this House. My colleague, the Minister responsible for local government, will provide a broader reaction to these sentiments, but from my end, I just wanted to indicate quickly, particularly to issues to do with Salima, where water had collected somewhere, and just to assure him that the contractor has already gone to site to create some opening so that the water can move away, because that's the water that has been causing problems to the people around Siasia Trading Center. For the rest, my colleague, whose ministry has taken over the devolved functions of the Department of Disaster, should respond. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, sir.
Chituzi chako ndili nacho. Muli chituzi tu.
There's a casino. What's going on over there?
Good afternoon,
afternoon, brother.
Is it in order? I know you, because you are sitting there without reflecting on you, Mr. Speaker, but I know people in Zamba, Chiswe and Namyango are also flooded in the Blantyre and Namyango constituency. So I wanted to speak on your behalf. But also, is it in order for the leader of the House just to answer on part of Siasia, when the disaster is also attaching to, I don't know if it is not disaster, the accidents which are happening along M1 and other roads because of the huge potholes, and the water in those potholes, and people are hitting in those and having accidents. I thought he's going to answer that before the Minister of Local Government comes in. I submit, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much. Indeed, these floods are everywhere, including Club Banana constituency. I see, but I was supposed to give a floor to the Minister of Local Government. Let me just acknowledge Honorable Member from Mulanje West, and then I'll come to you, Honorable Members, after the Minister has responded.
Thank you so much, the Right Honourable Speaker. It's not a point of order, but when the Minister of Local Government is responding, he's got to know that the information which they have, it might not that. There are a number of those because of the rain is so raining so heavily. So, for example, Mulanje is 329 households, it might be more than that. And the 73 people who are displaced, they might not that. There are a number of them whereby we are looking forward to see where we're going to keep them. And if you're going to have evacuation centers, the better, because we have a number of data, a lot of data which is coming in. So this is what I wanted to add, the Right Honourable Speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mulanje West. Let me give a chance to the Minister of Local Government to say something.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. And through you, allow me to thank the Minister of Transport who presented this ministerial statement this afternoon. To begin with, let me join the rest of the honourable members who've expressed and pronounced themselves in as far as these disasters are concerned. So many lives, as indicated, have been affected, direct or indirectly, to the extent that as it stands now, it's very difficult to really ascertain to the exact number, as highlighted by Mulanje Nkandawire, Honourable Member of Parliament. But that be as it may be, the government have done preliminary investigations as presented in the speech. And I will try to summarize, because I think quite a number of members of Parliament did really agree on most of the concerns. One of which is the question of decentralizing resources to councils. Indeed, in the past cohort of members of Parliament, one of the worries was indeed that when classrooms are blown out, it takes a lot of time for the government to respond, and indeed it causes a lot of problems. The guidelines will tell you, but I have got authority to mention that disaster management has been given a percentage, and a very good percentage, in the CDF. I must mention that I will not mention the names of the members of Parliament, and I know two of them who got to me 2 days ago, or 3, and some of them said to me, the percentage you have given to disaster is not useful, because not every constituency will have disaster. That's what he said. And I said, wait, preparedness for disaster, you don't have to wait for it to come in your area. That's why it is called disaster. And as you well know, the disaster ecosystem has got quite a number of pillars. Among them is the prevention, and then preparedness, recovery, and others. Now, I agree with the honourable members who are saying devolve, and I want to assure you that we have devolved, and there are huge sums of money in as far as response is concerned. And you will notice that if disaster in that cycle, in that financial year, has not affected you, that money has been given a blanket as well to say you will be able to use those resources for infrastructure in the constituency that is dilapidated. In that way, you will be mitigating all trying to look forward in case other disasters would come and affect the same. Another issue that has come out is the issue of probably getting in to sort out roads and other infrastructure that has been affected. Truth be told, the rains is really raining heavily, cats and dogs, and non-stop. If we were going to go today and say, let's begin to do A or B, how are we going to do it? Because we don't know the magnitude of more rains that are yet to come. Again, you will find that there are still houses that are collapsing, and that we don't know how far more that will take. That's why councils are on alert. They are getting the data Meanwhile, the disaster department is deploying and making sure that temporary relief is being sent to areas that must be dealt with. Allow me as I go to digress a bit by saying we all here have got to take responsibility when this occurs. And probably before it does, one of the things, for example, you will find that right outside my gate, right outside the road that I drive in, the drainage system is blocked. Water cannot pass there. As a result, the water has got no way but to go into the main roads. And this is right outside my house. The drainage is blocked by muds and whatever it may be. And because I'm passing through my gate, I can't take the liberty of removing those debris to allow water pass. That's a responsibility that all of us must take. That's why within the local government authorities, we have started what we're calling Pakomopanga, Taunianga, Nderalanga, Udindoanga. We should get out and begin to take ourselves that responsibility to educate our people. The other challenge that we have is the question of rapid population growth and how we have allowed our people to really construct houses even in areas they're not supposed to. If we remember the issue of Chilobwe Mountain, for example, we lost lives there, but we allowed them to. And it is some of us who really encourage those people to go get injunctions when the city councils, the district councils stops them from constructing in such areas. Another example I'll give today, it is on record that the lake will swell to some levels after some years, whether 15 or 20 years. And when they tell us not to construct in the beach close to the water, we are saying no, that shouldn't happen. But 15 years to come, you will find yourself in water and you'll be calling the government to come and aid you out. These are some of the responsibilities as citizens that we must deploy. In Rwanda, they have got what they call Rwanda Fest. And whether you're in government or you're in opposition, anything that concerns your nation, it's your responsibility. And you take it as serious as it may be. We are saying, can we come up, even as Parliament, can we demonstrate one day by going out of town here where we see people that are even doing mining, sand mining along the rivers, and those are really extending the riverbanks. Tomorrow, it will be disaster. What are we taking? What responsibility role are we taking in this whilst government is coming in? Where we spend money now is a lot of money that would have gone somewhere else, which would have been used to mitigate certain pillars within the disaster ecosystem. Allow me as well, Right Honourable Speaker, and through you and through the Minister who presented the report, to say that areas like Karonga Town, as indicated, the dikes and others, it is important indeed that BOQs and standards in as far as our infrastructure is concerned should be made available to everyone. That is why in our ministry we are saying minimum standards will be there. Unfortunately, the minimum standards will not come without costs. Costs will be there. For example, when you construct a school yourself, you will come and say, yes, we have constructed this classroom block at a cost of 40 million kwacha. When World Bank comes to construct the same, because they have got impact assessment reports and everything, it will go up to 200 million, just as an example, because they would have factored in how many meters down should the foundation be to make sure that it stands the test of time. For us, as long as we have constructed a classroom block, we are good to go. These are some of the issues that as we implement CDF, as we implement our infrastructure in Malawi, we must be considering. Probably as a house, we may want to look at what our colleagues in Rwanda and other places have done. These muddy houses without cement. We know our people cannot afford bags of cement. Probably we could come up and make suggestions to the government. Suggestions probably that would look at whether it is a question of subsidizing cement, whether it's a question of doing whatever. But if we can put mortar and brick to our houses, considering the disasters that we are facing today, we will be running towards a slightly safe space for ourselves and reduces the costs. One would do a cost-benefit analysis and look at the cost that we spend when disaster happens, as it has happened, versus some of the sacrifices that we can make in as far as taxes and other strides that we may take. All in all, we fully agree with all the sentiments made, and we know that the roads, like in Rumpi West, will surely be addressed at an appropriate time when costs have been assessed, because just to go without looking at cost implications, it is difficult as well. So engineers and others will be busy once the rains have stopped to make sure that at least the costing of the same within the councils are happening. I am, as I conclude, pleased to report that we now have got qualified engineers in all 28 district councils in Malawi, and the DCs have instructed them to look at the infrastructures and how it has been affected, and probably come up with costs so that the government can now ascertain to the amounts that are being looked at. But in terms of disaster foods and everything, allow me to thank and take this opportunity to thank partners like Nkota has mentioned, the Kawingas of this world. I saw the speaker receiving some relief items from the Muslim relief agencies. Yesterday, and Honorable Minister of Defense, Minister of Lands as well. Yesterday, the Chinese government gave in a whooping $2 million towards disaster relief, and so many other players that are joining the government in trying to help our citizens in this country. And I would like to invite more. Let's join together as we try to do this. But the most important of them all is let's take part in the mitigation and the prevention of the same by making sure that all of us are doing our things, constructions and everything, orderly, so that we can prevent the same. I thank you, Honourable Minister and the Speaker, for the opportunity, but probably the presenter of the motion, leader of the House in this case, may want to add some meat to the bones where the bone looks otherwise. I thank you.
Point of order.
Central West Constituency.
Yes, Salima, Central West.
Yes. In reference to what the Honourable Minister of Local Government has submitted, is it in order, Right Honourable Speaker, that the Minister can specify which type of infrastructure he's talking about, that resources will be allocated for maintenance? Because we don't want, when a disaster happens, that we disrupt education. And the earmark schools as such type of infrastructure. We used to have evacuation centers. It was a policy by government. It's no longer there. We can't see it. Does he mean that, or he means something else? Number two, is it in order that the Honourable Minister can specifically pronounce himself? He's talked about devolution of resources that we're discussing. Let's not mix CDF allocation of a percentage for a disaster response and management. We're talking about devolution of resources that have always been managed under the miscellaneous, which is operated under OPC. Can the Honourable Minister confirm that if that is the case that government has taken, OPC shall no longer have resources for Dodima? That's what we're talking about. Because the Minister has said, yes, he agrees, we need to devolve, and it has devolved. I think it's in the process. Are we talking about these resources that they'll no longer be under office of the President and the Cabinet, but that they'll be available full-time within the councils? This is what I wanted to submit for clarification as a point of order.
Thank you. I see Minister of... Minister, you want to say something on local government?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Two things. I think from what I'm gathering here is that honourable members want resources decentralized in their areas for specific purposes of disaster. That's what I'm getting. Now, it doesn't matter where the money will be. What we're saying is allocation is there for constituencies. But the central government, where need be, will have to come and supplement the same. How are they going to do that if you're going to take the resources off them completely and leave them with zero? So the question is, the money has been decentralized to the constituencies from this particular financial year to make sure that we all are supported to be first aiders to the sort of challenges that we're facing, and that is all. Number two is that the question of specifying which infrastructure. As it stands now, it's difficult to tell because quite a lot is being affected. Roads are affected, we have seen. Schools are affected, we have heard. Hospitals are affected. So we can't say this will be done and this will not be done. Allow the assessment to be done, and it is at that stage that the government will come in and provide a proper one. Remember, this is just an initial assessment because the rains are still falling, and I'm sure such statements will continue to come to be speaking to the situation that we have on the ground. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
I see Leader of the House.
Right Honourable Speaker, I believe that we may not exhaustively decide this matter because, as I indicated in my statement, rains are still with us and assessments are continuing. Meanwhile, what we reported is what is currently available. As such, and going forward, we will keep the House updated in terms of what government is doing to ensure that there's proper mitigation against this disaster. Issues of equipment, government is aware that we're short, and efforts are being made to ensure that proper equipment is procured and made available each time we are faced with such type of a situation. I wanted to submit this, Right Honourable Speaker, and therefore would like to request that we proceed with government business. This is conjunction with, we should continue with the debate on the budget, believing that probably they should still have reports from clusters. If not, we allow members to debate because we only have today and tomorrow. I submit, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. Now, Leader, looking at the time, it's time for a health break. Can we continue with the debate after we get back from health break?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker, we continue the debate after health break.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, it is now 15:29. We suspend for health break for 30 minutes. We'll be back in the chamber at 4 o'clock. House suspended.
Osaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.